Hey everybody, this is Kevin with Provision Handyman Services. Here wanted to share a project that we recently did. This one we actually traveled all the way to Maryland. We had a family member who wanted a screen and porch repaired. I think they've had the house for as long as I exist. Anyway, so we had 2 working days there, and as you can tell, it is raining, and I had no choice but to work in the rain because we had to come back home to serve our faithful customers here in Lynchburg. But anyway, so I had to take out all the old screen, take off all the screen caps, and then obviously put new screen. We went with a charcoal fiberglass screen that I bought at Home Depot. And we just went along and we did section by section. That way, if there is a hole in the future, they just have to replace that one section. Previously, they had stretched it from the left all the way to the right. So if you had to replace it, you had to do the whole thing. Anyway, so we replaced it all. We also screened in underneath, so they have protection from the bugs under the deck as well. The other 2 sides I don't have videos of because, like I said, it was raining, it was very inconvenient, and I didn't really feel like going through and setting all that up and down, up and down. Be patient with me. I'm learning, and I'm trying to get better at this. But anyway, yeah, so we stapled everything down, 3 sections, and we eventually got to the point where the rain did stop. You'll see that later on in the video. And all my tools are actually getting soaked because every time I bend over, all the rain just flows down. Anyway, this job took me 2 days. I think it was 17 by 20 something. I'm not exactly sure. But we just ended up using all the old screen cap that they had because it was 1 by pressure treated material and it's still in pretty good shape. There were only a few pieces that actually broke in the process, like literally 2 pieces. So I did have to make a trip back and replace those pieces. But for the most part, the most inconvenient part was just like the rusty screws. And they used Phillips heads, so it was very rusted and some of them were stripped. So I ended up replacing that with regular deck screws, the ones that were not in good condition. But yeah, this is actually the part here that I'm recording is the easiest part for me because I didn't really go up and down the ladder, back and forth, back and forth. It was very not fun. But despite that, you know, we got the project done. So you'll see me stapling everything, and this is actually kind of, so there's a specific method that I use for putting in screening, and essentially what I do is I go to the top and I staple the center, and then I go to the bottom and I kind of stretch it just to make sure that the center of it is kind of, you know, stretched out properly. And then I go, you know, work my way up to the top and then from the right side, and then work my way down to the left side, obviously stretching it as I'm going, making sure that we have a nice clean and wrinkle-free installation. Anyway, as you can see, the rain has officially stopped. I think this point was probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Eventually I got tired of working in the rain, so I went underneath the deck and started screening in the bottom of it. That way they have no bugs coming in through the bottom of the deck. So I had to tear all the old stuff from underneath and put in new stuff. But they were very content with the new bug-free zone. So anyway, putting all the screen cap back on. Like I said, the screws were rusted. So I had a couple of them I had to replace with decking screws. It was not fun, this piece right here, trying to keep it up. As you can see, I'm struggling to kind of keep it up. It wasn't fun. Eventually I got it though. Also keep in mind, this is like super fast. That way you're not spending 20 minutes watching me, which you probably won't. But anyway, finally got it on. Getting the rest of the screen on and or the rest of the screen cap on. And yeah, the bottom was pretty easy. You know, it just set it down there again. The ones in the bottom were rusted, so I had to kind of snap off the old ones. But this got put back on. Overall, the screen cap, like I said, was in pretty good condition. So it took a little bit to get them on there, but eventually they did get on there. Um, Also, I apologize for my voice. I'm kind of sick right now, and also very tired. It was 90, 100 degrees today. Not very fun. But anyway, so back to this. Got the screen kept back on. Pretty happy. We basically just lined up the new screws with the old holes behind. So that way I knew exactly which piece went where. And now I'm finishing up putting all the screen cap on. Like I said, this video is sped up, so you don't see how long it took me. But anyway, finally got to the screen door. At this point, I think it's like 5 o'clock. And I was like, well, I can like knock this out really quick. So I went to put it on, and then I realized that the top screen cap um, needs to get removed, which is annoying because that was the most difficult one to put on because it was so long. And so I did have to take it down because previously they had a screen door that was on the face of it, but this one was underneath it. So I had to take that off, and then eventually I noticed that I had to do a lot more to the screen door than anticipated. And so you'll notice that you don't see the whole entire process of me installing this screen door because I wasn't able to mentally wrap my head around everything. But anyway, here's some final pictures. Like I said, we screened underneath as well, um, and they were pretty happy with it. We put some lattice material underneath to hold the joints. That way it doesn't droop down to like the previous install. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll hope to do more videos like this and be better at it. So thanks for watching.